and express edition.
Yes,
Express
we can
edition.
install. Yes, we can install.
So in organization we can run 2017 version with paid version on production server at a same time we running non-production server at free version. It
Correct.
working, sir?
Correct. Yes, it will work. It should work.
Okay. And sir, if it is also possible that 2017 version on paid version on production server and 2016 version on production, it is not possible.
See, it's not like it's not possible. You can install multiple copies. The next class will be SQL Server installations. You can install multiple copies of multiple versions based upon the compatibility that we have already discussed. It's not like that it is
Yeah,
not possible. It is possible. But if you are installing multiple production instances in the same machine, if you are going to reboot that machine due to maintenance activities or due to some disasters, if you rebooted that machine, all the production servers will be down. So all the applications will be impacted. So mostly one production server will be used for one SQL server mostly. Are you getting the point? You can still
yes,
install multiple versions of SQL Server in the same Windows machine based on the compatibilities, but it's not a recommended practice.
okay. So as a DBA, if anyone asks which edition we install,
You
so we
can
prefer
blindly, you
only
can tell
enterprise
on production will use
enterprise edition.
standard or enterprise. On dev will use, sorry, yeah, on dev will use developer edition. You can blindly, you can tell these three editions.
Developer edition.
Yes. 1 minute,
Okay,
guys,
sir.
1 minute,
Okay.
1 minute. Just a minute, guys, I'll be back. Just a minute. Right. Any other questions, guys? Before jumping into the session, any other questions? No questions. Are we good?
Yes, sir. Now we are good.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So let's continue the discussion. In the last class, we discussed about the Windows Server installation, creating the VM, installing the Windows Server 2019, and then setting up the RDP and what is RDP, what and all softwares will use for RDP purpose, what is jump host, how we will connect from the office network, how we will connect from the home network. So all these things we discuss in the last session, guys. Okay. So in today's session, what we'll do, we are going to cover the difference between log off, sign out, and disconnect. Okay, difference between log out, log off, sign out, disconnect, guys. So we'll discuss these things. So once done, we'll install the prerequisites for SQL Server installation, and then if possible, maybe we can discuss SQL Server installation also. Okay, so this is very important. So when to log off from the server, when to disconnect from the server, sign out, okay, from the server, and when to restart the server. Okay, so log off, okay, or sign out, both are same. Sign out is the GUI way, log off is the command. Okay, we'll use in the run. So let me connect to the server again. I'm connecting to the server. My machine is up and running. Again, guys, if you want to connect to the server through remote, machine should be up and running. I just want to add that point also. Okay. Machine should be up and running. So if the machine is in stopped state, you cannot connect using RDP. Okay, you cannot connect using RDP. Why? Because who will take the connection? If the machine itself is in shutdown state or in stopped state, who will take the connection? Who will listen to you? Okay, so that's why machine should be up and running. Then only you can connect to the server through RDP, right? So let me connect to the server using RDP. So I'm just giving the server name connect, and I'm going to enter the password. In the organization, you don't need to enter administrator and the password, guys. Once you selected for any organization, they will give you separate username and password. They will create credentials for you. Once you are selected for any company, on your name, they will create separate credentials. Okay, so what you have to do, once you click on connect button, you will get an option like this, enter your credential screen. Click on more choices, use different account. You have to give your username and you have to give the password. This is how process is same. Instead of giving administrator and password, we don't use any administrator accounts. Okay, instead of giving administrator and password, what we will do, guys, we are going to give our own username and password. So this will be created by Windows team. Shanmukh, who will create those users? Windows team will create those users. When they will create, depends upon the organization. Some people will take 1 day. That is a matter of 1 minute work. I'll show you how to create it, not an issue. And we have to create some users also. That is just a matter of 1 minute. But for that, some organizations will take 1 day. Some organizations will take 1 week. Some organizations will take even 2 months also. Why 2 months? Why? Because they don't allow you to work on the production servers immediately. They will shadow you for 1 month or 2 months. Once customer approved, okay, you are good to handle production servers, then only they will give access to production servers, guys. So that's why it might take a day to create the credentials for you. It might take a week, it might take a month, it might take maximum 2 months also. Like for these 2 months, what we have to do, Shanmukh? Depends. Sometimes you are free until you are going to get the access on production. Okay, you are free, you can do anything. Or else sometimes they might ask you to work on the non-production servers, or else they might ask you to support the team when there is a need, when there is an issue. They might pull you directly into the call. They might ask you to support that issue, this issue, something like that. We cannot guess what will happen. So in the organization, they will give separate account on your name. So you have to give your separate account name and password, guys. That password also they will share it with you via email. So you have to enter those things. And immediately once you enter like ATM pin, for example, if you are using ATM pin for the first time, the next screen will be change the pin, right? Create a new pin. So in the same way, once they'll give default password Wednesday 23, Sunday 24, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Like that, they might give some different default passwords. Immediately it will ask you to change the password. So even Windows team also, they don't know your password. Okay. So I'm just giving, I'm using administrator connection to jump into the server. Right now I'm connected to the server. So what I have to select, guys, here, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have to choose yes here, and then it will allow me to jump into the server, guys. Now this is your Windows server. Sometimes you can see like this, guys. Okay. If you are like, if the machine is up and running for a long time, sometimes you can see like this. Actually, this is the taskbar of your local laptop, and you don't see server taskbar, right? Click on this taskbar once, just little above to this taskbar on the blue screen. Click on it once. Automatically, you can see this server taskbar. Okay, now you are into the server. You can resize this button. Okay, you can just, wherever you want, you can just move it. Why? Because sometimes when you are sharing the screen, it will create a problem. You cannot even move it. So that's why you have to resize sometimes. So that's why I'm just explaining this option also. Fine. So now when to sign out or log off, when to disconnect, guys. These three are very important options. So in case on the server, if you are not doing any work, your work is completed, there is no pending work on the server, always the best option is you have to sign out, or in the command. This is GUI way. Sign out is your command way. Okay. You have to either sign out, or for previous machines, older machines, you don't see sign out button. You can see directly log off. Okay. So you can use log off also. So sign out and log off both are same, guys. Log off, sign out. Okay. When the work is completed on the server, no pending tasks are there, then you can come out from the server using log off or sign out. Clear, guys? Any questions, any doubts? Again, I'm connecting. Now I just came out from the server, right? Again, I'm connecting. Again, click connect button. And again, I'm just jumping into the machine. Yes. Okay. So now still people are asking, Shanmukh, I'm getting this error. So you are not following the videos. Okay. You are not following the videos. Means not everyone, few people. Like you are trying to test your memory power. You are just trying to practice it, whatever you remembered in the class. So it is not going to work out. Always the best option is you have to just watch the video once before jumping into the practice. Okay. And then you can practice it parallelly. Okay. Fine. So that is very important. And don't do the parallel practice in the class. So if I'm doing this option, if I'm selecting this option, you are going to select the same option and that option. No, no, that is not at all going to work. You cannot concentrate on the class. Just listen the class. That's it. Okay. Once the class is completed, then you can open the video again and you can start working on the things. Okay. Fine. So now, or we can use
I
either
have one
sign
doubt.
out. Yes, yes, please.
This is server, right? Server we can log out with the help of shortcuts.
Server we can.
Log out help of with shortcuts.
That's what we can use command log off.
Okay, okay. No, I'm talking about the normal Windows. We can log off Alt to F4 something like that. We can use any shortcuts for server.
So for log off, what shortcut we have? Do you remember the log off shortcut? Control L something like
F4.
F4, Control plus
Yes.
F4,
Sorry, Alt F4.
Alt F4. Let's try. Yeah, it is asking you for sign out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is
Okay.
also
That,
one option. Yeah, you can
yeah.
simply just click on sign out. Sign out is already selected and you can see different options, sign
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
shutdown, restart.
Yeah.
So always you can even see four options. See, guys, here, disconnect,
Mm-hmm.
sign out, shutdown, restart. Okay, so if your work is completed, there is no pending work, you have to choose sign out. If work is still running, for example, at the end of the shift, someone gave you the work, you have to copy some backup files, guys, which will take 3 4 hours at the end of your shift. At the end of your shift, you have to copy some backup files. So now you started copying it. It will take 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, depends upon the file size. You cannot be on the same server, right? You are going to log off. So your work is completed, your shift is completed. So you cannot wait until the process is going to complete. You can simply disconnect. If the work is still going on the server, disconnect from the server. If the work is completed, there is no work currently you're doing on the server, sign out from the server. If you sign out, if the things are going on, you are copying the backup files. If you sign out from the server, what will happen, guys? When you sign out, all the active processes will be closed. Are you getting the point? When you sign out, all the active processes will be closed. It means if you are copying some files and all, when you sign out, that copy window can be cancelled in the middle. So if there is no work, then only always you have to choose sign out. If any work, you have to choose disconnect. Both are going to do same thing. Both are push you out from the server. Okay? Both are options to come out from the server. But if there is no work, use sign out. And if there is a work, just disconnect. So when you disconnect, still in the background, the process will run. Okay, even though whatever process you initiated, those process will run in the background if you disconnect from the server. So Shanmukh, whatever it is, I'll simply disconnect it. You can, in any case, either processes are running or not running, you can directly disconnect. But sometimes what will happen, your account will be locked. If your account is locked, you cannot unlock it. Maybe in the organizations, there might be some internal tools. There might be some internal tools in the organizations to unlock. In some organizations, you have to always depends on the Windows team. They are going to unlock your account. So every time once it is locked, your account, whatever account you will use to log into the server, that account will be locked. If your account is locked, you cannot log into any of the servers. Guys, you don't need different passwords and usernames to connect to different virtual machines. 100 servers or 1000 servers or 10,000 servers, you can access with a single username and password. Okay, so you don't get different usernames, different passwords for different machines. So only one username and password will be there. That account will help you to log into all the machines. Okay, so now is it clear, guys? Difference between sign out and disconnect, everyone?
Yes, sir.
If work is
Shanmukh,
there, please.
if I disconnect, can other user can connect to the server, or if the
You are just disconnecting, the server is up and running only. You are just coming out from the server. So if you disconnect, other user can log into the server. Okay, if you sign out also, other user can log into the server. If you shut down, if you restart, then until the machine is back, no one can log into the server. Clear? And never ever shut down the server, guys. Will never shut down the server in the organization. There is no such kind of activities also in the organization. Maybe if the server is not in use, Windows team will shut down. We are not authorized persons to shut down the servers. Okay, you'll never ever use shutdown option of the servers. Restart will use sometimes, maybe during installations, upgradations, patchings, while troubleshooting any issues, you might need to restart the servers after taking the proper approvals. So restart will generally do after taking the approvals. Shutdown will never do it in the organization. If you shut down the server, remember that will be the last day in the organization for you. So even though by mistake, never ever touch the tab, that touchpad. Okay, never ever touch the touchpad with wet hands also. Sometimes while restarting, suddenly if you touch with wet hands, before you can see both are like nearby only. Instead of restart, if you shut down, both will give you same option. Okay, if you shut down also same window will come, and while restarting also same option will come. Okay, so you might confuse, and here also it will show you, see, when you select restart, see, here also it will show you shutdown option. Choose a reason that best describes why you want to shut down. Even though you select restart, it will restart, but it will show you shutdown only. If you select this option also, it will show you shutdown here. And if you select this option also, it will show you shutdown here. So never ever touch the shutdown button. If you touch the shutdown button by mistake also, you have to justify like anything. Almost, if people are not very particular about the process, they might leave you, maybe very few cases. Out of 100, one or two cases, they might leave you. But 99% by mistake also, if you shut down the server, very, very difficult to survive in that organization. Okay, so forget about the shutdown button in the server. Always, if your work is completed, then we'll sign out from the server like this, using this, or we can also use command log off. Windows or log off you can use. See, I'm using log off command. I'm signing out from the server. So I'm coming out from the server. Again, we can connect. Again, we can connect. How many times you want to connect, you can connect. There is no limit. Depends upon your work. Sometimes you want to connect multiple times. Yes, you can connect. Okay, so this is how the sign out, log off, and disconnect will work. So if you have any pending things, which option we have to choose, guys, to come out from the server? If any pending things are running in the server, if you want to come out from the server, which option you have to choose?
So disconnect.
Disconnect. Pending pending things. Disconnect. PD. You just remember like this. PD. Pending. Disconnect. Okay. Non-pending or no processes are running. I mean, processes in the sense the things that you initiated. Lot of processes will run in the Windows machine. So if you initiated a copy process, if it is still running and your shift is over, which option you have to choose? Simply disconnect from here. Just close this button. That's it. See, it will be disconnected. Simply disconnect. That's how you have to disconnect. Okay. And if pending things are running, if any things are running that you initiated any copy process or any backup process, or you are running some queries. Okay. So in that scenario, you have to choose disconnect, guys. If no pending things are there, whatever there is an issue, you connected to the server, you fixed that issue, work is completed, then you will sign out from the server. Clear, guys, everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, Anna.
Yes.
If any pending things are there, are running in the machine that you initiated, always disconnect from the server. Okay, so these things you have to remember, guys. So now what we can do, yes, please, Mahesh. Okay, fine. So now what we can do, guys, let's discuss about the SQL Server installation. So to install SQL Server, from this point onwards, okay, they will hand over the machine to, no, not yet. One more task is there in between. So now let's discuss the prerequisites to install the SQL Server. Sometimes in the interviews, they might ask, guys, prerequisites to install the SQL Server. Okay. What are the prerequisites to install SQL Server? Generally, very important thing is .NET framework. Okay. So the first and foremost important thing to install SQL Server is .NET framework. This will be installed by Windows team. Who will install .NET framework, guys? Windows team. So we have to verify whether .NET framework is installed or not. If not, mostly they will install post installation of Windows machine. They will install some softwares, guys, like .NET framework, some monitoring tools. They are going to install some softwares that will be done by the Windows team. So .NET framework is very important prerequisite. From 2022 onwards, by default, you will get the .NET framework, no need to install, but still up to 2019, .NET framework is mandatory, right? .NET framework. And let's discuss like this: hardware components and software components to install SQL Server. So hardware components means what? CPU, minimum 1 core CPU is needed, guys. 1 core CPU minimum, guys. No need to remember these values, but in some interviews they might ask you But why? Because we don't use minimum machines in the organization. Always will use, worst case, will use 4 core machines, 8 core machines, 16 core machines, 24 core, 32 core, like that will use big machines only. So minimum 1 core CPU we need, and 4 GB, 2 to 4 GB RAM based on the SQL Server version. Based on the SQL Server version, 2 to 4 GB RAM based on the SQL Server version. Okay, this is also minimum. Whatever I'm just giving, all are minimum values only. Again, in the organization, we'll use 16 GB RAM machines, 32 GB RAM machines, 64 GB, 128 GB, 256 GB RAM machines. So these are all the minimum things. Okay, and the storage minimum depends upon the version. Again, minimum 4 GB storage we need. So these are all the main hardware components, guys. RAM, CPU, and memory. We can tell, in case if anyone is asking what are the minimum hardware components. 1 core CPU minimum, 2 to 4 GB RAM depends on the version of the SQL Server, 4 GB storage. These are the minimum hardware components. Software components. What are the prerequisites? Software components to install SQL Server. Software requirements, we can say. Hardware requirements and software requirements. Okay. So software requirements. The first one is .NET Framework. Second one is your which version of SQL Server you are using. Okay. And OS, of course, OS based on the compatibility. Okay. And of course, you need SQL Server software version. Which version you want to install, that version. Generally, if any specific requirement is there, customers will tell you, hey, DBA team, I need 2016 version. I need 2012 version of SQL Server. Like that, customers will tell you. If there is no update from the customer, if he is not asking any specific version, then you can always install latest version of SQL Server. Your organization will follow this rule, latest SQL Server version. Sometimes people will use latest SQL Server version -1. What it means? The latest one is SQL 2022, right? What is the -1 of latest one? Which version it is?
2019.
2019. So some companies will follow this rule. In the latest versions, maybe some bugs will be there. Maybe we don't know how it will behave and all. So sometimes they might use latest version -1 concept. Sometimes always they will install the latest version. So when you are installing SQL Server, just check with your colleagues once. So whether we are going to install the latest version or any protocols are there to follow. So these things that you have to get it from the colleagues when you joined in the organization. Why? Because it is new. For example, if you are there in your house, you know where is washroom, you know where is okay kitchen, where is living, where is bedroom, everything you know. But if I came to your home, for me it's new, right? I have to ask, hey, where I have to put the charging, where I have to put the like, where is the washroom? Maybe depends. Where is the living or something like depends upon the requirements. I'll ask. Why? Because I'm new to that. In the same way, even though you're a 10 years professional, you have to check few things when you are into any new organizations. So that is called KT. That is called KT, knowledge transfer, guys. Okay, so we'll be discussing, don't worry. So SQL Server version is a software requirement that we need. Okay, these are the main hardware and software requirements, guys. These are the main hardware and software requirements and components to install. Components, what and all components you want to install. Components to install. Components means with the SQL Server, we'll get different components like database engine, okay, SSIS components, integration services, reporting services, analysis services, master data services, data quality services, Python, R programming. So like this, we'll get different components with a single package. I'll show you, don't worry. So from that package, customers will ask, hey, I need these features, I need these components. So based on that, we are going to select the components, guys. Apart from that, there is very important word called build sheet. Build sheet. So before installing SQL Server, we have to make sure build sheet is ready and attached in the ticket, guys. So who will fill this build sheet? App team, application team will fill this build sheet. So they will give the server name, they will give the components that has to be installed, they will mention the versions. There are some other inputs like service account name, SC account name, password, service account name, password, accounts has to be added. There are some things, maintenance related things that we will also add in that sheet, but main inputs will come from the build sheet. They will not come to your desk, hey, Jay, can you please install these components? Mahesh, can you please install it? No, there should be a proper accountability for everything. So later tomorrow, if he says no, who said I didn't ask anything? These kind of things will come. Okay, so for that, everything there should be an accountability. Everything on the paper or written email approved. Paper we don't use it. I mean to say email approval or sheets or documents will refer. So build sheet is one sheet where it contains all the inputs of the installations, like what will be the server name, okay, what and all components you want to install, any specific collation settings. I'll tell you any specific collation settings you want to change. So all these things, application team will update the build sheet. So these are all the main hardware and software requirements to install the SQL Server, guys. Clear? Any questions, doubts? Questions, guys? Are we good? Not good? Why so silent? Can't hear.
No, we are good.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we can do now, we'll install the .NET framework. Okay, first. That is the main important thing, right? So first we'll install the .NET framework. So how to, this will be done by the Windows team again. So first go to the server. So if you want to install anything, we'll use server manager, guys, this one. Okay, this guy will help you to install server related components. Open this one, click on add roles and features, go to next, 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 and here you have to choose .NET framework. There are different versions of .NET framework, .NET framework 2.0, 3.0, 3.5. So you have to install this .NET framework 2.0, 3.0, 3.5 and select this add features and this one. This one. These three you have to select, guys. Just expand it and select all these three boxes. Okay, so it will install .NET 2.0 and 3.0. You can see here includes .NET 2.0, 3.0. So next, guys, this is not our concept. Non-SQL concepts will go next. SQL related components we'll discuss completely. Okay, so don't worry. So the next thing that you have to do is select the second option, specify an alternate source path. So it is going to install from your software, guys, Windows Server software. So where is your Windows Server software? When you attach anything in the Oracle VirtualBox Manager, okay, let me minimize this. Let me go to the Oracle VirtualBox Manager. This is called Oracle VirtualBox Manager, where you are going to manage all the VMs. Okay, so when you attach something in the storage section of any VM, we have attached Windows Server operating system, right? So when you attached any software in the storage section, that will be attached as a D drive in your server. So my operating system is there in this D drive. Your .NET framework components are there in the operating system file. So your operating system is there in the D drive. Where it was in the D drive, sources folder, there is a folder called SXS, this folder. In this we have .NET framework. See here, .NET framework. So this path you have to give. So here simply it was mentioned, see here, sources SXS, but our software is there in which drive? Which drive? Windows Server software is there in which drive? D drive.
D drive.
Simply just replace this E with D, that's it. Remaining everything is fine. Just you cannot copy paste, just type it. ed colon backslash sources backslash yes ex yes backslash. That's it. Click OK and finally click install, guys. So in this way, you can install .NET Framework, but this will be done by your Windows team. Even though, hey, DBA team, I know how to install .NET Framework, just let me try it. You cannot ask them. They will not give you permissions also to do that. Okay. Yes. Let's wait for a minute. It don't take much time. Once it's installed, then we'll go for the SQL Server installation.
Shamu, while we are waiting for it to install, on the video which you put it on YouTube this morning, I did not see it. How did you get your computer name on which you put on the remote desktop connection, please?
First of all, why you are trying parallelly?
No, I'm not trying parallel. It's just a question I noted down earlier.
So you're not able to see that software or what?
The computer name
Computer name you can't see.
on your R, which you put in on the remote desktop connection. When you're trying to
Computer,
connect
that computer
the
name
server.
you have to give the computer name. Okay, you have to give the computer name. So how to check the computer name? Abang, how to check the computer name? Open command prompt, type host name in the server. Connect to the server directly first. Then open the command prompt in the server, type host name without giving any spaces. You will get it. Otherwise, just connect to the server directly. You can simply click on this PC properties. Okay, it will give you the host name. In both ways, you can find the host name. Okay, first you have to connect to the server directly, and then you have to run either command or using this PC properties. You can get it.
Hello, Shanmugh. In real time, we will have domain names. I think something like
In the real time, we
before
have domain
domain.
names that will be discussed once we just completed, okay, these sessions.
Okay.
So we have a class on domain also. What is domain? How to set up the domain also I'll show you. Okay, so slowly we are going, right? Slowly you'll learn these things. Maybe half of the class, after half of the classes, we'll start discussing handling domain machines, setting up the Active Directory, setting up the
This
domain.
.NET framework you are just installing now, we will get any .exe file so
Will
that we can install.
no. Why you have to install? Why you want that headache first of all?
Why? Because every time these Windows
See,
admin people, they will
see.
not be
First
available
of all,
night.
why you are saying like that? They should be, see, always remember one thing. Someone should be available from the maintenance side. First thing, we are doing maintenance job. We means Windows admins, storage admins, network admins, DB admins. We four all under maintenance jobs. Maintenance jobs means someone should be available. If suddenly one machine is down, if Windows guy is not available, who will take the responsibility? Are you going to troubleshoot? Should be there. If not there, that is his manager mistake or lead mistake. Should be there, first thing. Second thing, as it might take some time, so why I have to give chance to them? I will only install. No, you cannot interfere others' duties. Second important thing. Third important thing, they won't wait until Zamir will come and they will ask to install .NET Framework. No. .NET Framework is important to almost all the Windows applications. So once they created Windows machine, once they installed Windows machine, immediately they will install .NET Framework also. So There is no question of installing .NET Framework from DB team. There is no point. Okay, so you will not get anything like .NET Framework softwares and all. And even though you get it, still you are not an authorized person to do that. If .NET Framework is not there, you have to inform to Windows team. That is the protocol. I know how to install .NET Framework. I'm a local admin. I can do whatever. No, they are going to escalate the issue. What is the use of the .NET? Most of the Windows applications are GUI applications, graphical user interface. .NET Framework is a software which will support GUI. So that's why most of the Windows machines, most of the Windows applications needs .NET Framework. Okay, Abu?
So
Yes, thank you.
from installation and what like a SQL Server installation and what's our work will begin, right?
Correct, correct. So not yet started. Our work is not yet started. Our task is not yet started. Still, Windows team are building the machines and completing the prerequisites. Now it's done. It's completed. Okay. Installation succeeded on machine name. Close it. Now we are good, guys. We have RAM, enough CPU, enough storage. So you can, if you want, you can check in the server. You can use MS Info 32. Okay, you can see the RAM, CPU. You can see one core CPU, and you can see 3 GB RAM, minimum 2 GB we need. And okay, storage, open this PC, click on this PC, and you can see 14.5 GB free space is there. So we need minimum 4 GB. We have 14 GB. Okay, so we are good with the prerequisites now. So now we are good to install SQL Server, guys. Clear? Questions, doubts before jumping into the SQL Server installation? Are we good?
Yes, Sharma, we are good. So if anything, they might be asking interview like prerequisites for installing SQL Server. So we can simply say these whatever
Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. 1 minute. I'm just checking where is my Zoom control. I can't see the Zoom control. Where is the Zoom control? Yeah, I got it. I got it now. Okay, fine. Okay, so now what we can do, guys? So before and after installing SQL Server, it's always good practice to restart the virtual machine. Before and after installing, it's always good practice to restart the virtual machine. So I'm not going to restart it. It's good practice in the organization. We have to restart it, but here I'm going to skip it. Okay, fine. So we don't need to restart in the practice, but in the organization, when you're installing SQL servers on the production servers or virtual machines, okay, it's always good to restart the Windows machine before installing SQL Server. Restart the before and after installing SQL Server. Before and after installing SQL Server, restart the virtual machine or Windows machine. Mostly you will have restart permissions. As you are a DBA administrator, you should have administrator permissions. So if you can't able to restart, then you have to contact the Windows team. They are going to restart it for you. So now we are good. So what we need, software components wise, we need .NET Framework, yes, installed. We need SQL Server software. Where is SQL Server software? Where is the SQL Server software? Earlier, I attached Windows Server software, right? Windows operating system software, right? Now I have to replace. Now Windows work is completed. We don't need Windows Server operating system software now. So now what I'm going to do, go to Oracle VirtualBox Manager, right click, go to settings, then click on storage. Just replace this Windows Server software with a SQL Server. Guys, I am not uninstalling Windows Server. I'm just changing the software. That's it. Okay, so we have already installed Windows Server and installed the prerequisite .NET Framework. So now we don't need Windows Server software. So I'm going to replace it with the SQL Server. So just select SQL Server from the drop down. For you, you cannot see in the drop down. You can simply select choose virtual optical disk file, select SQL 2019. Okay, and click OK. So once you attach it here, where I can see that software, guys? Once you attach it here, where I can see that software?
D drive.
D drive of what? Server or laptop?
Server.
Server. Okay, go to your server. You can still see same Windows server. Just refresh it, guys. Just refresh it. Refresh it again. See, SQL setup. It was replaced. Now we are good. So we are attached the software also. But in the organization, Shanmukh, you said you will not have any control on the Oracle VirtualBox manager in the organization. This will be controlled by the VM team. Then in the organization, how to do that? If we don't have control, how to attach the software? In the organization, we'll use what we will use, guys? We'll use shared path to copy the softwares and other DB stuff like scripts and all, or updates, service packs, cumulative updates. So for that, what we'll use, guys? Shared path. So one shared path will be there. In that shared path, your SQL Server softwares and all will be there. That shared path will be accessible from all the machines. So simply you have to go to that server. In which server you want to install SQL Server, Windows machine, open, run, type the shared path. Okay, the shared path name will be like // something like this, / SQL softwares, something like that, SQL 2019. Like this kind of path will be there. But if you hit enter, you will get error now. Why? Because there is no such path. Just want to give you an overview how the path will be. Okay, so that kind of path will be there. The path will start from / network path. Will always starts from / will always starts with / server name or IP address / your folders names. That's how it will be. So you'll go to, this is expected. There is no such path, right? So that's why it is giving error. Windows can't access. If it is there, it will open like folder. From there, you can copy the software, right click, copy, paste it. So that's how it will work, guys, in the organization. Okay. So now we are good. And let me open this SQL setup file, open. So now you can see this. These are the components. Supported files will be there in the SQL Server setup file. So now what we have to do in these files, which file we have to open? See here, application file. Only one application file is there. That is your setup file. So if it is an application file, how to open this file, guys?
Run as administrator.
Always application files has to be
Run as
opened
administrator.
with run as administrator. Okay. So what we have to do, right click on the setup file and choose run as administrator, guys. Choose run as administrator. Kirti, Abu, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Kirti, can you please ping me from your WhatsApp number? You have my number, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, just ping me from your WhatsApp number. So Abu,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Abu, who is your friend, Abu? You said your friend is going to join.
My cousin, but she is not present today.
Oh, okay, fine, fine. No issues, okay. Ask her to join. This is important class, Abu. If she is free, just ask her. Why? Because this is very important. SQL Server installation we are going to discuss, right? If possible.
Okay,
If possible. Yeah, okay, Kirti. Got you. Got you.
Yeah,
Got you. Yeah. Okay, fine. So this is your second class or first class, Kirti? I guess morning also you joined, but
Yeah, morning I joined, but unfortunately I had to disconnect. But
okay,
then
okay.
now, yeah, I'll be joining.
Okay, fine, fine. No issues. Okay, fine. So now when you open setup file, you will get an installation center. Right click, run as administrator. You have to choose, guys, always. And once you select that option, it will open like this. This is called installation center. So this is very important. Going forward, we'll discuss most of the options from this installation center. So it will, in case if you select this one, it is a just documentation. In the planning page, you can see just documentation. These are all documentations only. Hardware and software requirements. See, we just discuss very basic hardware and software requirements. If you just open this document, lot of things you can see. Anyhow, we have already satisfied all those things, but interviews also will expect RAM, CPU, storage, and .NET framework and SQL Server software. These kind of requirements only. You cannot remember all the hardware and software requirements, and there is no need also. We have satisfied. If the machine is not satisfied, it will not allow you to install SQL Server. I'll show you how it will block. If we don't have hardware and software requirements, it is going to block you. It will not allow you. Right. So this will help you to get the hardware and software requirements. This is a documentation you can see here. If you see like this kind of option, that is a documentation. Online release notes, security documentation, like DMA tool will be used for the migration purpose, guys. Online installation help, how to get started, SQL 2019 failover clustering, upgrade documentation, download SQL Server migration assistant, SSMA. So these are all like different documentations. Generally, we don't refer these things and all. Okay. So now let's go to installation page. This is called page, guys. Planning page, installation page, maintenance page, tools, resources, advanced options. So just go through like one by one. So if you want to do any addition upgradation, if you want to repair the server and all, you can go here and you can just use this. If you want to install any extra tools like configuration checker, any discovery report and all, right? So we can use this tool section. Resources, again, this is also mostly documentation only. Advanced, in the advanced, you can see different ways of installing SQL Server. Okay, different, like in many ways we can install SQL Server actually. Okay, we are going to discuss GUI way. In the organization also will use GUI only. Some organizations they might use command installation, but that is not so difficult. So in case if you want to learn how to install SQL Server using command, so in the SVSC University, I have uploaded few videos how to install SQL Server using command and all. Just go through it. So how to get the command, how to install using the command. So all these things. Initially, I don't want you to make the process tedious. Okay, so if like I told you like GUI command, so you might get confused. So let's go smoothly, like going forward when you're practicing, when you want. Why? Because command we don't generally use it. So if as we are not using, there is no meaning of discussing it. If you want extra cheese, extra subject, you want to learn, you are eager to learn a lot of things, then just go to our channel SOS University and there you can see, just type in the search button, just type how to install SQL Server using command. Okay, you will get a lot of videos, our videos only. Fine. So now let's go to installation page. When you are installing for the first time, there are two types of installations. One is standalone installation, second one is cluster installation. So what is cluster installation and all will be discussed in the clustering session. There is a separate HADR sessions, high availability and disaster recovery sessions. There we are going to discuss cluster installations. Now we'll install standalone. What is standalone? If you are installing SQL Server on a single virtual machine, that is called standalone. Standalone building, you know, right? Standalone means a single machine. Okay, so standalone means a single virtual machine. You can say a standalone. So if you are installing SQL Server on a single virtual machine, that is called standalone installation. So now I'm installing only on one machine. If you are installing on multiple machines, that is a cluster installation. So I'm installing only on one machine, right? So you have to choose this option, SQL Server standalone. You can see here, new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. For both, you can choose this one only. So let's go to this. I'm installing 2019, guys. And again, I'll show you 2022 also. When we are doing migration and all, I'll show you with the 2022. And the same like 2017, 2016, the terminologies and all same, guys. Process is also same. There is no difference at all. So if you know one version of installation completely, you can install any version of SQL Server, guys. Any version of SQL, the same things will be there, just little change in the sense interface change. When you see 2000, you don't see an interface like this. Older version, right, 24 years back, you can see normal interface and all, but options are same always. Okay, so just concentrate it, guys. If you want to install any free edition, you can choose from this free edition. Express is free, developer edition is free, evaluation edition is free. Okay, I am going to choose developer. If you want to install paid edition like standard or enterprise, you have to give the product key. So this product key, the organizations will manage in a separate sheet or database. So that details you have to get it, and then you can use the keys here to install your standard or enterprise edition. Okay, only that is the difference. That's it. So other than that, there is no difference between installing developer edition and standard edition and enterprise edition. Only key you have to give. That's it. So choose. I'm going to choose a free edition, which is developer edition. Next.
So the key,
Yes,
the key or the license will be provided by the server guys, or who will be responsible
DBA
for
team only.
having the certificate?
DBA team only is responsible for maintaining the keys. Your manager or lead. Okay, they will create a spreadsheet, and with a secured spreadsheet and all, they are going to create it, or internally they will maintain this information maybe somewhere in any other database. Okay, so like when you are new to the organization, you can ask them where we can get the keys. They will give you the location of the keys. Okay, right. For every software,
Got it. Thank you.
For every software, we have to use I accept the license terms. So I'm selecting I accept the license terms. Next. See here. In case if the machine is not loaded with the prerequisites, in case if you are not following, or if the machine is not meeting the prerequisites, these conditions will be failed. These are called pre-checks, global rules. So if any of, see, for example, as I told you, when you install SQL Server, before and after you have to restart computer. But if you forgot to restart computer, generally this check will be failed. Out of these 8 checks, either 8 has to be passed, or warning is also fine, or skipped is also fine. But out of these 8 checks, if one check is failed, this next button will be grayed out. It will not be enabled. So this is how it is going to check. Even though we are checking prerequisites, still from server side, it will also do some testing, whether it's meeting prerequisites or not. If any of the prerequisite is failed, then the installation will not be going forward. This is how it will be there, guys. This is how it will check. So now you can see here all the checks are passed. If it is failed, some red mark will be there here, and here it will show you failed. So like that, you can see all checks should be passed, or warning is fine, or skip is also fine. But even single check is failed, it will not allow you to go next. Next. These are the Microsoft updates. It might ask you to give the Microsoft updates during the installation. So, but we don't need it. Why? Because
I have one doubt.
yes, please.
If you have any failed something, what we need to do?
See, generally here, most of the cases will never fail. Why? Because there are the rules that we have already succeeded. Might be there are some scenarios, restart computer will be failed. For example, if restart computer is failed, what we have to do? Tell me. 99.99%, there is a chance only restart computer will be failed. Okay.
Okay.
So
We need to restart the
that's
laptop.
it. That's it. We need to restart. Okay. So in case if WMI side, if something is failed, we have to check with the Windows team. So remaining will
Okay.
never fail at all. Okay. Media and the long path names to file on SQL Server installation media. So these things will never fail. I never see that. I never saw till now if any check is failed other than restart computer. Okay. So 99%
Okay.
will not be failed.
Okay.
Next,
So if we restart the computer, like we need to do all the installation steps from
again from the
first point.
beginning. Yes. To be frank,
Okay.
we haven't selected anything. We just initiated the installation now, till now. So in case if restart computer check is failed, again we have to cancel this. We have to restart it again from the beginning. We have to open installation center and again you have to do all these steps again. So Microsoft update needs internet connection. In the organization, no servers have internet connection, guys, for security side. Servers will never connect to the internet. They are all connected to the intranet. Intranet means connecting mutually, connecting within a network is called intranet. Internet means connecting to the public network is called internet. Connecting to the public network is called internet. Connecting mutually, connecting within an internet, within a network range or organizational network, that is called intranet. So servers will never connect to the internet. So you can skip this step. Don't select anything. Microsoft update, you can simply skip it. Next.
What is the difference between both, Shanmugh, intranet and internet?
Intranet means if you are connected within a single network, means Infosys is there. So Infosys, all the servers of Infosys under one single network. So that is called intra. Internet means connecting to the servers, like it will come to the public internet. So you will get internet lease, your server will be exposed to the public. So someone can easily hack it in case if the servers are connected to the internet, right? Your laptop can be easily hacked. In the same way, if your server is also connected to the internet, public network, so people, hackers, lot of hackers will be there. They keep on targeting the machines throughout the globe. So they can easily hack, they can steal the data, right? They can corrupt the machines, corrupt the disks, they can demand the money, whatever. Once it is in the hands of hackers, they can demand anything. Okay, so internet is different, intranet is different. Clear? Intranet means simply, for example,
Yes.
if you have 5 servers, these 5 servers will connect to a single network. So those 5 servers are in intranet. Internet means they will be exposed to the public internet. Fine.
Got
So,
it.
yeah. So now it is going to install some setup files, guys, during the installation. So let it be. Again, it is checking a lot of things and all. Okay, so you can see here, these are all the things. Again, 2-3 times it will check the rules, guys. Okay, so now you can just go to next. Right now, these are the feature selection screen, like components. What and all components you want to install. With the SQL Server, you will get lot of components, guys. With the SQL Server, you will get lot of components. That doesn't mean you have to install all the components. If you install all the components, what will happen? You have to pay a lot of money to the Microsoft. So by mistake, unknowingly, if there is no DBA team, sometimes I can see they will install all the components. So once you install, even though you're using or not using, that is different. Once you install, you have to pay Microsoft licensing fee and all. So we don't install all the components, guys. Depends on the requirements only, we'll install the components. So now, as discussed, SQL Server is a database software which will be used to store the data, process the data, retrieve the data. Correct, right? This is what we discussed in the beginning of the session. To do all these things, storing, processing, and retrieving, we need one component called database engine. This is the brain of the SQL Server. This is the brain of the SQL Server. Without this database engine, you cannot install or you cannot work with any of the database components, guys. I mean to say, this is for SQL Server. So database engine is very important. That is the heart or brain, whatever. Okay, it is important. So that is the brain of the SQL Server database engine. Apart from database engine, replication is one feature in the SQL Server. So that also will select. After that, full text will help you to search the data quickly. So these three main components will be installed. So before that, let's try to understand the components, guys. So if you see here, there are actually two sections. Okay, there are actually two sections. This is one section up to here, one section, and from here to down. Okay, from here to down, like we have to go down. So that is another section. So there are two parts. One is specific features. This one is specific features. Okay, this section is specific features. This one is shared features. Okay, this one is shared features. So what is the difference between specific and shared, guys? What is the difference between specific and shared? For example, you want to join in any PG. You just joined in a PG or hostel. We can say PG means paying guest. So when you joined in any PG or hostel, there are few things that you will carry with you, right? And few things they are going to give it to you. Can you tell me the things that you are going to carry? First and foremost, your
Cloth,
mobile phone. If you have
mobile phone,
your
cloth.
laptop, yeah. If you have clock,
Luggage.
okay. So if you like your mobile phone and if you have a laptop, your laptop and your dress clothes, okay, sorry. Your clothes and all, whatever. These are the main things. And like the other stuff, small things will be there, right? Your plate, your glass, whatever it is. Your personal things, I can say. Those are specific things, correct? And shared things, what PG will give you guys? TV,
Washing machine.
washing machine, refrigerator, right?
Bed.
Wi-Fi, bed. These things will be provided by the PG. Those are called shared features. So, specific features, everyone will have their own specific things. You will have your own mobile, another guy will have his own mobile. Like that, you will have your own specific things and all. But shared things, shared features will be, it's not like for everyone, he is going to give you one separate TV. For everyone, he is going to give you one separate washing machine. For everyone, he is going to give you one Wi-Fi router. No, right? These are all the shared things that you have to use. Everyone has to use. Agreed, guys? Agreed? So shared features will be installed only once. The same shared features will be utilized by multiple people. Are you getting the point? So when you are installing this SQL Server installation for the first time, you have to install specific and shared features also. Next time when you are installing, no need to install shared features. Why? Because tomorrow if a new guy joined in the PG, the PG owner is not going to install a separate TV, is not going to install a separate washing machine, is not going to install a separate Wi-Fi, right? Whatever things you have in the PG, the same things you have to use. So the shared features will be installed only once for the whole Windows machine. Are you getting the point, guys, everyone? Everyone, are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Shared
Yes, sir.
features will be
Yes, sir.
installed only, the Wi-Fi will be installed
Yes.
only once. Washing machine will be installed only once. Refrigerator will be installed only once. So the people has to utilize the existing resources. So I can install 50 copies of SQL servers in one Windows machine. I can install 50 copies of SQL servers in one Windows machine. Each copy is called an instance. What is that, guys? Instance. What is an instance? Each SQL server
Copy of
software copy. Copy of one SQL server software is called instance. So from today onwards, we don't call it SQL servers as SQL server. We'll call SQL servers as SQL instances. Are you getting the point, guys? Is it clear? So like that in this,
Yes.
imagine if this machine is a PZ, how many people we can accommodate in this PZ, guys? Maximum
50.
50. That's what we discussed right just now. 50 SQL instances we can install in one Windows machine. 50 SQL instances we can install in one Windows machine. Where is that document? Yeah, we can install 50. I'll write 49 plus 1. 50. I'll tell you why 49 plus 1. 50 instances we can install in a Windows machine. In one Windows machine, we can install 50 copies of SQL servers. So Shanmukh, anyone is going to install 50 copies? Is there a need like that? No. Up to 50 we can install, but it's not a good practice to install 50 SQL servers. Shanmukh, it is good, right? So instead of again buying a new VM, new operating system, I can install 20, 30 SQL servers in this single Windows machine, right? So I can save the Windows licensing, right? Correct, guys? Can I think like that?
No.
no.
I cannot. Why? Because if you want to reboot the Windows machine due to some issues, or you are installing a new SQL server in the same Windows machine, as already 20 instances are installed in the, imagine 20 instances are installed in the Windows machine. And when you want to install a new copy, you have to reboot it. When you reboot Windows machine, all 20 SQL servers will be restarted. So every SQL server will be mapped to one application. All 20 applications will be down. Is it a good practice, guys, in that scenario? No, it is not a good
No.
practice. So that's why mostly, even though we can install up to 50 instances, we'll install maximum one copy. I mean to say mostly one copy. Sometimes they might install 2, 3 copies also. But it's not a good practice. That too on production. Maybe non-production you can do that to save the cost and all. Non-production you can do that. Non-production, even though you reboot, it is not going to impact. There will be no much impact on that. So non-production, you can in one Windows machine, you can install multiple SQL servers. But production servers, mostly one Windows machine, one SQL server. Very rare cases in one Windows machine, 2, 3 SQL instances will be there. That is very rare. Are we good, guys?
Yes, Shanmukh.
Any questions till now, please? Please don't hesitate. Whatever question you have, you can ask. Don't hesitate. Okay, so till now,
Shanmukh, uh, you said that instant features and shared features will be in the build sheet, or it's the standard one for
very good
all
question.
the.
Very good question. Shared features are standard. Specific features are will be in the build sheet. They will mention what and all features they need. Sometimes they need only database engine. Sometimes they need BIDS components, BIDS, BIDS, Business Intelligence Development Studio, BIDS components like SSIS, SSRS, SSAS. Okay, so SQL Server Integration Services, SQL Server Reporting Services, SQL Server Analysis Services. These are the extra tools. Apart from that, you can also see R, Python, Java, Polybase. These are all the machine learning services. We don't need it as a SQL Server. SQL Server don't need this. But if you want, you can use it. But when you use it, you have to pay extra money. For SQL Server, we need these three components. That's it. So if customers are asking, hey, I need R also, you can select. But how they will ask, they will mention the bill sheet. I need R, Java, data quality services, Polybase feature and all. If they want, they will ask. They will mention the bill sheet based on the components they have selected in the bill sheet. We are going to choose the features here, guys. Good question. Jamir, just 2 minutes. I'll give you the break. Don't worry, guys. I'll give you the break.
It's already 1.5 hours.
I have a question.
Yes, Leah.
What language is SQL Server used?
Sorry, where?
What language is SQL Server used, like Python or
No.
Java
SQL Server will not
or
SQL Server will not use any other components. SQL Server as a DBA, if you are using, if you want to store, process, and retrieve, generally it will use only these three components. Other than that, for any other purpose, if you want R, Python, and all, then only you can select these components. Otherwise, we don't need the R, Python. SQL Server will not use R, Python, and all. These are the extra. This is a bundle. With that bundle, you are going to get all these things. If you want, you can choose. Otherwise, you can leave it. You means the application team. Okay. Fine. Why again suddenly two people disconnected? Okay, guys. I guess. Okay. Maybe it's kind of okay. What I can say, overflowing. So let's take a break for 15 minutes, and we'll be back after.
Sharma, I have a question.
Will be discussed after the break. Okay. So let's take a break now. Yeah. We'll be back after 15 minutes, guys. I'll be in mute. Okay.
Okay, nah.
Nice. Any questions, doubts till now about shared features, specific features? So only for the first time when we are installing SQL Server, we'll select the shared features. Okay. Of course, for one, I'm installing one copy of SQL Server now in this Windows machine. Like that, I can install up to 50 copies of SQL servers in this Windows machine of same version or different version. Maximum 50 I can install in a Windows machine. It can be same 2019 or different versions of SQL servers I can install, but up to 50 copies only I can install. Right? So, please be muted, Anjan. Right. So, while installing the first copy only, I'll select the shared features, guys. Next time, if I'm going to install second copy, these shared features, whatever I'm installing now, these shared features will be grayed out. No need to install shared features multiple times. Only for the first time, we'll install shared features. So what and all some common shared features that we'll install? Client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, SQL client connectivity SDK. These 4 shared features that we have to install. These 4 shared features are common for all the instances. Okay, so no need to, next time when I'm installing second copy, I'll show you. Next time when I'm installing, no need to choose the shared features. Only specific features I'll install next time. Okay, so this is how we have to select specific and shared features, guys. From specific features wise, database engine, replication, full text, these 3 are mandatory for SQL Server. In case customer is asking SSIS, SSRS and all, we can select from here. This is SSAS, analysis services. This is SSIS, integration services. This is your, see, looking for reporting services. Actually, before 2016, everything is included in the shared feature. I mean to say in the feature section. In the analysis services and reporting services, you can see in this specific feature section. Integration services, you can see in the shared feature section. But after 2016, the reporting services are separated. If you want to install reporting services, guys, sometimes you might get these kind of questions in the interview, whether you worked on SSIS, RSAS and all. Generally, as a DBA, we are limited to the DBA activities. In some organizations, they might ask you to work on SSIS, RSAS also. SSIS integration services, SSRS reporting services, SSAS analysis services. These three are BIDS components, Business Intelligence Data Studio, Development Studio, Business Intelligence Development Studio. Generally for data analysts and all, we need these three tools. For DBS, generally we don't need it, but in some organizations, we might have to work on it. In case if anyone is asking in the interview, tell them that I know how to install SSIS, RS and AS, but I didn't get a chance to work on these three components. In my organizations, we don't generally, use these three components. Very rarely we might use SSIS, sorry, not AS, SSIS integration services. I'll show you while setting up the maintenance plans and all, I'll show you how the integration services will be. Tell them that you know how to install these components, but tell them you haven't worked on these components earlier. Okay? Clear, guys?
Shanmugh,
Yes, please.
can we install different versions of SQL Server in one Windows
Yes,
machine?
we can install. We can install
Like
different
2020
versions.
to 2017. Yeah.
We can install based on the
Okay.
OS compatibility. If your OS is going to support 2016 also, you can install. Now I'm using Windows Server 2019, right? This machine is
2019. Yeah.
Windows 2019. In this, what and all SQL servers we can install generally? In this Windows 2019, what and all SQL servers we can install? -7 to +7 rule.
Yes.
So 2019
Minus.
-7, 2012 to 2019 +7, 2026. In this range, whatever SQL servers are there, I can install 2012, I can install 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022 on this Windows machine.
And SSIS, SSRS will come under database engine services, right?
Yes, it will comes under not database engine service. Okay, it comes under specific features. Database engine means only for SQL database will use it. Only to manage SQL server will use database engine. It will not comes under database engine. It will comes under instance specific features.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Any questions?
Sir, on production server, we can only use one instance, one SQL server.
Mostly one is recommended, but we can install multiple copies up to 50.
Where is the RS?
RS, you have to download it separately. From 2019 onwards, it was separated. So if you want RS, you want to download it. But from up to 2016-17, you can see reporting services in this section. After analysis, you can see reporting. You have to simply select it. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to install SSIS RS, guys, you have to simply select it. That's it. After that, you will have configurations and all that can be done using documentation. But if you want to install these components, you can simply select that components. One thing. Next thing, now I am installing SQL Server Database Engine Replication Full Text. So today I installed. After 1 month, customer is coming back to us and is asking analysis services for the same instance. So, or by mistake, I missed one component. I just selected, but it was not selected. I thought it was selected and then I just installed. By mistake, I missed one component. Later, can I install the components, guys, the missing components and all? Can I install the missing components later whenever I want?
Yes.
Guess it. Just guess it. Yes or no?
Yes, Anna.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about others?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
guys.
we can.
That's why here, if you see, that's why I told you install SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. In case you missed some features or next month, next year, customer is asking extra features, you can simply again select the same option, whatever features you want to install or whatever features you missed, you can simply select it in the next installation. Okay, guys, are we good?
Shared features, Anna,
Shared
shared
features
features
also.
also we can add in the same.
Yes, we can add. We can add. If you miss any feature, next time you can add it, no issues.
Anna, actually, I was disconnected for 5 minutes. Can you say something on build sheet? That is what I missed at that time.
You can just go and watch the recording, Charan. Okay, so again, we
Okay.
cannot go back. It will create some confusion. Let's go. Why? Because this 30 minutes itself is not sufficient for us to discuss installation. Okay, we will, based on the time, maybe I'll give you an overview at the end of the session. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine, guys. Any questions, doubts in this feature section screen? Okay, so where these components are going to be installed? Instance root directory. Instance root directory. These components are going to be installed. Instance root directory in this folder. In the C drive, it will create already C program files will be there. In that, it will create a Microsoft SQL Server folder, guys. There it is going to install these components and all. Okay, fine. Next. Right. The next screen is type of instance. Okay, type of instance. So there are two types of instances. There are two types of instances, guys. One is default instance, second one is named instance. And we used one word called 49 plus 1. Why, Shanmukh, you mentioned 49 plus 1 is equal to 50? I know that. 48 plus 2 is
One
also
default.
50. So why it was like 49 plus 1? What is the...
One is default.
49 instance, named instance.
Very good. Okay, so what is default? What is named instance, guys?
Default can be installed once, and named instance we can install up to 49.
Default means for computer name.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So someone said default means I can install once and named means I can install 49 times. Right? Good try. Right. So default instance will always take your computer name as a SQL Server name. Why I can install only one, guys? One default instance. Why I can install only one default instance? Because if the computer name is attached to one instance name, SQL Server name, then you cannot use it. Otherwise, for example, in this participants list, I can see, or else I can say, if two Abus are there, imagine if two Abus are there. If I call Abu, which Abu will respond, guys? If two people are there with the same name, if I call with their name, who will respond? The best case is both will respond. Worst case is both will not respond. This Abu will think that maybe the other Abu, the other Abu think that maybe this Abu. So if we have an instance with the same name, if we have multiple instances with the same name, then it will create a problem. So that's why once we install the default instance, it will automatically log the computer name. So you cannot use the computer name again for other instances. That's why the computer name is not shared. So because of that reason, I can install only one default instance. Unnamed instances I can install up to 49. So there is a criteria in naming the instance. You cannot name however you want, whatever you want. It's not like that. There are some rules you have to follow. Instance name cannot exceed instance name cannot exceed more than 16 characters. First rule. Okay. It can't exceed more than 16 characters, guys. Right. So the next rule is it can't start with numbers. It can't start with, or else it should start with within what is that? Characters. It should start with the characters. Okay. That means you cannot start with the numbers. You cannot start with the special characters. The instance name should start with the characters only. Right. The third important rule is it don't accept any special characters. Okay. Any special characters other than dollar and underscore. Other than these two special characters in the instance name, you cannot add any other special characters. So now tell me, guys, if I am going to install named instance, can I name the SQL server like this?
No.
Is it
No.
correct name, guys? Is it going to allow me?
No.
No, it's not correct.
Dollar
No, not
should-
allowed.
Character
Why?
should be first.
Yes.
No,
it should
dollars
start
should
with
be removed first.
it should starts with characters. Okay, so dollar it will accept, but beginning you
Later
cannot
of
give character.
characters.
Okay, you can give like this dollar, right, or underscore, right. This is how you can give. Can I name the SQL server like this? SQL server 2019. Is it going to be accepted, guys? Guess it.
No.
Just guess it.
No.
No.
No,
Space.
no.
Space is there.
It's not allowed.
Are you sure? What about others? People are not responding.
Yes, no.
Padma, Kirti,
No.
No.
Ramesh.
No.
No.
No, it will not.
Okay, fine. Very good, guys. Space is also a special characters. It will not allow. Okay, so it should be like this. Okay, so now I have a quick question to all of you. For example, do I need to install default instance for the first time or named instance for the first time?
Anything we can do.
Default
we can
instance
install
first.
first one.
Default instance.
Anything,
Default
sir.
instance.
Default instance.
Default instance. Okay.
No, we can install anyone.
Okay. So the answer is okay. There is no difference between default and named. Both are same.
Yes, because
Both are
will
instances only.
give, they will give the name.
That's it. Only the name is different. That's it. If it is default instance, it will take computer name. If it is named instance, you have to give the name explicitly. What is the computer name, guys? Something is there, right? This is the one you can see here. If
There's
it
no
is
host
default
name.
instance, yeah, if it is default instance, when you install SQL Server default instance, the SQL Server name is like this: WinHB3O JNVJ4HM. If it is a named instance, you have to give separate name. Now my question is, can I later change the default into named instance or named instance into default instance? Is it possible? Guess it. Just guess it.
Yeah, it is
I
not
installed
possible.
No.
I installed the
Because
default
No.
instance.
Yes, we can.
I installed a default instance. Later customer, hey, I don't want default, I want named. So later can I change the same default into named into default?
Yeah, I think so.
no.
No.
because in the
Default
default
cannot be
instance is
changed but
taking host name.
named.
Default, okay.
Cannot be changed but named can be changed.
See, default to named, named to default. I'm asking. Okay, named to another name. Not can I rename the instance? I am not asking that question. Default to named instance or named instance to default instance. Can I change it later? Guess it.
No.
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 The answer is no, guys. You cannot change it. If you install default instance, it will be default instance only. It should be default instance. If you install named instance, it should be named instance only. Whenever you want, like if it is default, you want to change it to named, not possible. Can I
For
change
example, in named instance, I given the default instance host name.
It will not allow you.
No, for example, the same host name I was giving in the named instance. In this case, I can create the two default
That's
with
what,
the
first
same
of
name.
all, it will not allow you.
No.
Okay, first of all, it will not allow
Even
you.
it's not there. Even if
Even
default
it's not
instance
there,
I
even
didn't.
it's not there also.
No.
Okay. So, and one more thing here you have to remember is, so even though, for example, if you are giving named instances, computer name, okay, what is the computer name? Win-HV, sorry. Win-HV.
HB3030
JNVJ4HM. Okay, just click next. Automatically instance ID will be populated. See here. Okay, here it is showing. First of all, this is the computer name, right? And in this computer name, there is a problem. What is that?
Special
character, hyphen. Hyphen is not allowing. The specified instance name does not meet the instance naming rules. Okay, first thing, that is one error. And the second error is you have to give the instance ID. So now, for example, imagine I changed the computer name. I just gave a normal name. Still, can I do that? Even though if it is there like that, even though if it is allowing you, the named instance name will be like this, guys. Computer name backslash instance name. For example, batch 56 is the computer name. When you install default instance, the SQL server name will be, what will the default instance name, guys? Batch
56.
So as per Zamir, if I install a named instance with the batch 56 name, then what will be the name of the instance? Can you tell me? Named instance name.
Batch 56 backslash Jamir.
Amira. Good creativity. Okay, so he is not giving instance name as Zamir. So he is giving instance name as computer name only. So now instance name is batch 56, computer name is also batch 56. Now what is the complete named instance name? Complete named
Batch
instance name, guys.
56 slash batch 56.
That's it, very good. Batch 56 slash batch 56. Named instance name will be, I don't want to confuse you here, but Jamir just raised this query, right? Batch 56 slash batch 56. So you just try it tomorrow after the installation, you try to install. But for that, what you have to do, you should know how to change the computer name first. Once you change the computer name, then you can do that. Just try it once. As of now, let's end that discussion. Let's concentrate on this. Okay. Now, I'm going to install default instance, guys. Later, if I want to change it to named instance, that is not possible. So first time, it's not mandatory to install either default or named. Any instance you can install for the first time. First time it can be named instance. First time it can be a default instance also. Instance ID is nothing but it's a folder that will be created with the name of the instance in the C program files. I'll show you. Okay. So default instance I'm selecting, and this table will show you what and all installed instances are there in this machine. If this table is blank means what? As of now, no SQL instance installed. Okay. Are we good, guys? Instance configuration.
Yeah, I have one doubt,
Yes, yes,
Shanmugh.
yeah.
Yeah, before you in WordPad, you shown that batch number 56 something. This one from where you got, I know only the host name, something like Win HP. This batch 56 you given whenever you are installing VirtualBox. How we know the VirtualBox? This batch 56, how you got?
No, you have to change computer name. Okay,
Okay, you are
now
telling we need to change in further.
correct, correct. That's why I just
Okay.
stopped the discussion there. That will goes to some other discussion which will
Yes,
confuse you.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, guys. Default instance, named instance. How many default? How many named? Named to default. Default to named. Dot should be the name. So if it is a default, what is the computer name or instance name? If it is a named, what is the SQL instance name? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Shanmugh,
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes.
in installed instances, it will show the version of only 2019 or the
No, other
different versions.
whatever instances you install, it will show all the versions here.
Okay.
Okay, whatever instances are there in this machine. If any instances are there, irrespective of versions, it will show every SQL Server component. Okay, guys, I'm going to next. Yes, yes.
If the user did not mention anything, then we by default we will install the default instance only, right?
Yeah. If it was not mentioned, generally we'll use default instance only. Okay, so that's why you can, for the first time you can install any instance, but generally, guys, 99% for the first time will prefer default instance only. 99%. Okay, if the default instance is occupied, then only we'll go for named instance. Otherwise, first preference will goes to default only. Okay. Fine. I just like when you install default instance, it will create a folder name with MS SQL Server. I just added MS SQL Server. Nothing I did. Earlier it was deleted automatically, so I just added MS SQL Server. Go to next.
What is basically instance ID?
We can add
Instance
any name.
Instance ID is nothing but it's a folder
What?
that gets created when you install that specific instance.
Can you
I'll
repeat
show
once
you.
more, please?
It's a folder or directory that will be created. Don't worry. After installation, I'll show you what and all folders will be created. Instance ID is nothing but it's the name of the folder. All the default, whatever instance that you're installing now. Okay, you're installing a default instance. The default instance files, everything related to the default instance will be stored in this folder. See here, SQL Server directory, C program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL 15.MS SQL Server. This after dot it is there, right? That is your instance ID. If you are giving named instance, the ID will be changed here. Automatically it will be changed. Okay, don't
Yes,
worry.
but MS SQL 15 dot it is coming, but I think we are 19.
Tomorrow, what is meant by 15.0? Do we have SQL Server 2015?
No, we don't have.
Then 15.0 means what? Which version it is? 15.0, which version?
2019.
Right? Zamir?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So
Yes,
you
yes,
don't know the
now you
SQL
are
Server
right.
versions.
50.
You should
15.0 means
learn. That is
2019.
the first thing that you have to learn in the SQL Server. SQL Server versions,
Okay.
Windows Server versions, build numbers.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
this don't worry, this will be discussed in the next class. After installation, what services will be created, what folders will be created, post installation steps will be discussed in the next class. Don't worry. Okay, as of now, instance ID is nothing but that's a folder. Okay, that gets created during the installation to store the particular default instance or named instance related data. That's it as of now. Okay. Fine, I'm going to next, guys. Don't worry. As guys, we are discussing a lot of terminologies, nothing to worry at all. Okay, so very simple it is. Installation can be completed in 5 minutes. Okay, but if you don't know each component, at least try to understand the component. That's it. No need to remember at this stage. When you are keep practicing, automatically you can able to remember. But till then, just try to habituate for the terminologies and all. That's it. In the first class, right? Don't worry. Like this is the first class. Like I can't understand anything. Nothing to worry. Slowly, we'll go one by one, and you will get to know all these things. Installation, right? Lot of components will be there. All components will come during installation itself. So you might heard some new terminologies, but don't worry. It's not so difficult. Next terminology is next component is service accounts. So what is service account? I'll try to explain with the help of a diagram, guys. So what SQL Server will do?
Store the
Store the
data.
data, process the data, retrieve the data.
Or కాదు. Okay. You
And
store the data and process the data and retrieve the data. Okay. So imagine this is your virtual machine and you installed SQL Server in this virtual machine. Okay. Imagine this is your SQL Server. So now when you install SQL Server in the Windows machine, so in the Windows machine, we'll have drives also, disk. Disk or drive, anything you can say. Hard disk, I'll mention as hard disk. Okay. So imagine this is your C drive, right? This is your C drive. So what SQL Server will do? This is your SQL Server. SQL Server will store the data, process the data, and retrieve the data. So SQL Server means the SQL Server files will be stored in any of the drives, C drive, D drive, whatever it is. So how it will store? It has to write the data to the disk, right? When we are getting any data from the application, imagine this is your application. Imagine you have an application. This is your Amazon application. This is your Amazon application. Now you are buying something, okay? For Big Billion Days, something sale is going on, so you are buying something. So record will be generated. You are buying something like maybe, okay, something like Nitin is buying something. Nitin, and he is buying an iPhone 15, and it is around something like 50,000. Okay, and for I don't know which location, Bangalore location, it has to be delivered. Something like that. Some okay, who is that? Someone is providing the sales and all. Okay, so let it be. So now when Nitin is buying the iPhone, it will generate a record and it will go and it will store the data in the SQL Server. SQL Server means in the SQL Server, it cannot store the data. It has to write the data to the disk. Then only when you restart the SQL Server, the disk level data will still exist. Even though you restarted the SQL Server, when it was written to the disk permanently, until you delete it, it will exist. So who will do these write operations, guys? Or when you are trying to read the data, when you want to open the iPhones, when you want to see all the iPhones, you will select the iPhones. So it will run a query select star from iPhones 15. So who is going to read the data? Who is going to write the data, guys? Who will do all these things, reading and writing the data?
Service account.
Yes. Your service account will do that. So service account is an account which helps to read the data from the disk, write the data to the disk, guys. Is it clear, everyone? Once it was written to the disk,
yes,
then only the data will be permanently stored. Otherwise, if it was not written to the disk, the data can be deleted at any point of time. So who will write and read the data? Your service account will play a crucial role, and service account will connect to the disk and it will write the data to the disk. If it has to write the data to the disk, it should have enough permissions, right? Correct? Correct, guys? So service account should have sysadmin permissions. Then only it can write the data to any disk. Then only it can log into any folder and it can read the data from any disk. For example, I'll give you a small example. Antivirus software, you know, right, everyone? What antivirus will do? Generally?
Control virus.
It will scan the computer.
It will not allow
Some
Virus.
kind of applications.
Internally, how it will work? Internally, how it will work? Do you know how this
We,
antivirus
we
works?
save our data
Very
from
good.
virus.
Very good. That's the
It
functionality.
will scan all the files and data from the computer and will say any threats to the computer.
How it will work in the back end? How it will work? ఫస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ అంటే ఫస్ట్ అమ్మా నువ్వే ఫస్ట్ అంటాం కదా రైట్ హౌ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్ యు నో గైస్ హౌ యాంటీవైరస్ విల్ వర్క్ యు నో
Permissions from something.
తీసుకో పర్మిషన్స్ ఓకే సో ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ హౌ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్ antivirus software will have its own database. In that database, it will store all the virus extensions. It will store all the virus extensions. So when you scan any file, that virus, antivirus software will scan the virus extensions with the files that are there in the computer. For example, .exe, that is an extension of an application file. So it will check .exe file is equal to .trn, something tjf. Some virus extensions will be there, right? It will compare each and every virus extension with the existing files extensions in your file system. If it found any virus extensions in your computer, it will mark it as a virus. Then once the scanning is done, it will mark all the virus files and it will ask you, hey, I found these many risks. Can I go ahead and delete it? So this is how antivirus will work. So if you update the antivirus, what will happen? New virus extensions will be added to the databases. Are you getting the point, guys? Are you getting the point?
Yes.
So
yes.
this antivirus will compare all the files in your local laptop with the virus extensions. All your files, for example, you have two notepads, something like employee.txt and students.docs, docx, and movie.mp4, something like movie.mp4. క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను కదా ఓకేనా అయిపోయి తింటాను సరే రైట్ సో ఇట్ విల్ కంపేర్ .mp4 is equal to .trx, .mp4 is equal to .docs is equal to .trx, .trx is equal to .trx. It is matching, then it will mark that file as virus file. Like that, it will mark all the virus files, and then at the end, it will give you a report. Okay, guys? So that is how it will work. See, your antivirus will scan the data. Scan means what? It will read the data. And it will mark the data, and it will delete the data. Three things it will do. So for that, someone should be there to read the data, write the data, modify the data. Who is going to do that? Antivirus service account. So every software that you are installing in the Windows machine should have a service account, guys. But the other softwares will not ask you to choose the service accounts. Why? It will use default service accounts. SQL Server will ask you to choose the service account. Why? Why? Because You are using Windows machine for SQL Server. The SQL Server software is the highest priority software. So I can still use default service accounts like this. These are the default service accounts. I can go ahead with this, but it's not a good practice. Why? Why? Because these accounts are default accounts that we will get with the SQL Server installation. Security wise, it's not good. So that's why we will use our own service accounts. So in the coming sessions, I'll show you how to create a service account, how to change the service account and all. As of now, service account is an account which helps to run the service, guys. What is that? Service account. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Where we can see all the service accounts, guys. Shanmukh, you said every software should have a service account. Where I can see, go to run Windows plus R, type services.msc. Guys, I don't take much time. Please don't disconnect. We are at the end of the installation. Once this is completed, we'll initiate the installation, guys. Okay. Every software, just a minute. Every software that you installed in the Windows machine, that will be created as services. If some antivirus is running, means on behalf of antivirus, one service will run in the background. If Zoom is running, means on behalf of Zoom, one service will run in the background. For every software, for every application, there are some services will run in the background. Then only we can use the service. Okay, RDP I'm using currently. For that also one service will run in the background. That's why I'm able to use RDP feature like that. So see here, these are all the services that gets created when you install Windows Server. See the last column, log on as. See all the services, they are using these service accounts. See local service, network service, and your local system. Local system, network service, and local service. These three are default service accounts, guys. That's why when you install other software, it will not ask you to choose the service account. It will take the default service account, either local system or network service or local service. Are you getting the point, guys? But SQL Server is the highest priority software. It will give you a chance. Hey, you have to read and write the data continuously. SQL Server. So change the service account. If you use the default account, performance wise, it's not good. Change your own service account. That's what it is saying, guys. Are we good? Guys, is it clear about service account?
Is this the service account is not running? That means the application won't be running.
If service is not running, application will not run. The associated
database,
services,
right?
even the services are not running, means database will not run. Services
Sometimes we
should
just
be
need
up
to
and running.
restart the services, right?
Correct.
Fix issues.
Correct. This is how either we can restart SQL Server services from services.msc or from configuration manager. We can do that.
Yeah, I have one doubt for the service account. In starting in the picture, you've shown me that
Yes, yes.
yeah, only the service account can read and write everything.
Correct.
But how service account having that much capability to read data?
The service account is nothing but it's one user account who can log into the drive, who can log into the folder. Only users can log into that. Service account, indirectly, it's a user account which will have sysadmin permissions. If you are a local admin, if Jamir is a local admin, you can do whatever you want, right? Jamir can be a service account. I can name my service account as Jamir. So the name is not like Zamir or Nitin or Kirti, not like that. Officially, we'll give one name called service account. That's it. That should have the capability. That account is nothing but that is the user account. That user account will log into every drive, every folder, and it can write the data. That's how the account will be, the data will be written to the disk. Okay, someone should write. See, you are copying something. Who is doing these things? Someone should be there, right, to copy the data from one disk to another disk. Someone should be there, right? Who is that someone? That is called your service account. Service account should have the capability of reading and writing the data from the drives and folders. But
Why
by
I
default,
got
you
this?
will not get. By default, you will not get. You have to make that as a service account. By default,
Yeah,
every
why I
user
got this
creates.
out
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
why I got this is you know middleware technologies which it will connect to the database for the handshake.
Hmm.
In middleware technologies, when they will use anything like a web server will be there in middle.
Okay.
But in this case, you are telling service account will have that
See,
much access to
this is
retrieve the
not
data.
middleware. This is not middleware. This is an
But you are using
application.
application,
This
as you
is an
told previously, right?
application. See, this is an application that you installed in one machine. Both are in same machine. The drive, the software, that all these components in the same machine. You are talking between two different machines. This is not between two different machines. The one application that you installed in that Windows machine to write the data to the disk, SQL Server will not do that. SQL Server or any service on behalf of SQL Server can't do that. The service, when you install SQL Server, some services will be installed, right? Every service will have a service account. That service account only will read and write the data. Again, I'm repeating, service accounts only will have capable of reading and writing the data in the Windows file system. No application can do that. On behalf of SQL Server, SQL Server service account will read and write the data. And there is no difference. I mean to say, there is no comparison at all. The middleware is completely different. It is not middleware. Okay, it's a component of SQL Server which is helping to write the data to the disk and read the data from the disk. Okay, right. So now this service account. Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, service account. So I know this is very important in the work
Yes,
life.
very important.
But
It's very, very important. That's why
sometimes
I'm
the
spending
database,
some
like
time.
they will ask you the database not functioning or is not accessible. That means the DBA, the first thing they do is to check the services, right?
Correct. First, that is different. The services we have to anyhow we have to check it whether services are up and running or not. But service account will play a crucial role. Services, service account. There is a difference. Okay, services if it is not up and running, then SQL Server will not be started or application cannot connect to database. Service account will help to write the data to the disk. So don't think if there is an issue with the database means there can be issue with the service account or there can be issue with the service also. There is a difference between service and service account.
Can you show us which one exactly the one that related to the database?
Tomorrow, in the next class, I'll show.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Guys, are we good? Very simple. Forget about all these things. Service account is an account which will write the data to the disk and read the data from the disk. As SQL Server is a database software, lot of data we have to store. Where we are going to store? We are going to store the data in the disk. So VR means who? Who will write the data to the disk? That guy
Sysadmin.
who is writing the data to the disk is called service account. That guy should have sysadmin privileges. If he don't have sysadmin privileges, he cannot write the data to multiple disks, multiple folders and all. He will get an error. So if service account does not have enough permissions, services can't start it. The SQL services and all will not be started. So there might be a problem with the SQL Server services and all. If SQL services are not started, server will not be up and running. If SQL Server is up and running, not up and running, application will be down. So this is how they are interrelated each other, guys. Clear? If it is not clear, just watch the recording again. Don't worry, it's very simple thing. Service account is very important component in the SQL Server installation. Okay. So I am not going to change anything. I can give my own service account or I can use the existing service accounts also. In the next session, I'll tell you how to change the service account after the installation also. We can change the service account after installation also. After installation, whenever we want, we can change it, but it needs a restart. So downtime activity, restart means, when I mentioned restart means all restarts are downtime activities, remember. So I'm going to use the same virtual service accounts as it is. Next session, you should know how to change the service account after installation. I'll show you. Okay, guys? Right? Fine. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to set up the startup type as automatic, means when you start the Windows machine, how the services are going to be started. That is called startup type. So generally, SQL Server is very important software, right? So we'll set this as a automatic for services startup type. Later also we can change it. The next one is collation. Collation is nothing but language settings. SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS is the default collation settings. In the interviews, they might ask you collation settings is nothing but language settings, guys. What kind of language you are going to use to insert the data in the database? Okay, so this language settings can be any language you can use. There are different languages. So default collation setting, they might ask in the interviews, what will be the default collation settings? SQL Latin 1 General, CP1 Code Page 1, CI Case Insensitive, AS Accent Sensitive. This is the default collation settings, which is English language. If you want to change, for example, for Chinese websites, you can see Chinese data. And some local websites, you can see local language. If you want to change the language, click on the customize and you can just go to this option. You can see here. These are all the different languages that will support SQL Server, guys. Means you can enter the data in this language, in any of these languages in the SQL Server. Japanese, French, Chinese, okay. So you can see a lot of Croatian, Greek, and Lithuanian, Latvian. Lot of languages are there. Urdu is there, Turkish is there, Thai is there. Unfortunately, okay, we don't see Nepali is there, and B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Unfortunately, Hindi is not there. Okay, or I don't see any Indian languages. Okay, not sure. Tibetan is also there. Nepali is there, but maybe since beginning they are just following like this, but I don't see any Indian language here, guys. Okay, these are the languages that will supported by SQL Server. Means you can enter the data in any of these languages in the SQL Server, but we'll use only SQL Latin 1 General. Latin means English language, guys. How we got our languages from Sanskrit, English languages from Latin. Okay, so this is how Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. Collation settings after installation, we cannot change the collation settings. Direct option is not there. Indirectly we can do that, but it's not a recommended practice. In the interviews, they might ask you, can we change the collation settings after installation? Directly, there is no option to change it. Indirectly, by changing the registry keys and all, we can change it. That will be a separate discussion. So this is your language settings, guys. Go to next. We are almost at the end of the installation. Now, whatever, oh, come on. Right, we have these things, and what we can do now, I am going to allow someone to access the SQL Server initially. In the next class, I'll tell you what is authentication and all. In the security, there is a separate discussion. Those who are adding in this section, okay, that guy can connect to the SQL Server. If you don't add anyone, it will not allow you. So someone you have to add in this section. That guy can connect to SQL Server. He can give access to others also. That is your authentication and all. There is a separate discussion in the security sessions. We'll discuss, guys. Data directories, where you are going to store the data is your data directories. As of now, we have only C drive. So I'm storing the data only in the C drive. If you have multiple drives, we have to change the drives also. I'll show you during the HADR concept. I'll use multiple drives also here. What is TempDB and all? There is a separate discussion in the performance tuning. In the system databases discussion, we have a TempDB discussion. There we will discuss max DOB, max memory. These are all the configurations that will improve the performance of the SQL Server. There is a separate discussion on each word, guys. Okay, each terminology there is a separate discussion. At this moment, it is too early to discuss. That's it, guys. Next, and we are at the end of the installation phase. Finally, it will check some other checks, and remember, now we prepared a query to install SQL Server. Okay, whatever we selected till now, that is just a query. SQL Server don't understand GUI. So this window will help you to prepare a query to install SQL, but we don't know what is the query to install SQL Server. So using GUI, I'll prepare the query. Okay. So now this is how it was selected all the options, like whatever we have selected, you can see here, paths and all. This query will be stored in the configuration file.ini. When I click install, a Windows machine will pull this configuration file.ini. It will see all the inputs and it will start installing the SQL Server. And I'm clicking on install button. That's it, guys. This is how we will install. Don't worry, tomorrow again we'll discuss about SQL Server installation. Slowly we are going to, like, this is the first class, right, related to SQL Server installation. So of course, definitely I can understand to digest some of the terminologies, it will be difficult. So in the next class, I'll try to explain. Okay. Again, with one more installation, guys. Tomorrow morning, I'll show you one more installation. But I don't explain this much clearly. Like wherever you are feeling trouble, I'll try to elaborate those terminologies in the next session. Okay. It will take for the first time, right? First time you are installing shared features and specific features. It might take 10 to 15 minutes. You can be in the call. I don't want to discuss anything now. Just relax and just keep an eye on the screen. Okay. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. IST will connect and we'll discuss the other things, post installation things up. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'll be in mute. So you can just keep an eye. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, just keep an eye on the installation, guys. As I cannot break it, that's why I took 30 minutes extra from you guys. Please don't mind. I'm sorry for that. If I break it again tomorrow, you don't understand anything. So that's why I was trying to complete the installation. At least you will have some terminologies and you'll have an idea on the terminologies. Tomorrow, again, we'll continue, guys. Please don't mind. Huh?
Sorry, I was going to leave. I will be continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Guys, if you want, you can leave it. Just installation you can see. Guys, sometimes in case after creating the VM, if your cursor is not moving or not responding, you can just hit control key. When you hit control key, automatically the cursor will be released. Okay, so sometimes you don't see the cursor, guys. Don't worry, no issues at all. Only sometimes like it will happen. If you don't see cursor, just keep pressing control key, right control, left control, just keep pressing control key, automatically you can see the cursor.
Okay, Shamuk, I do see the cursor on mine, but the keyboard doesn't just work.
Sir,
Yeah, yeah, Anjan, tell me. Hello, Anjan, your voice is breaking.
I have sent you one screenshot. Now it is completed. Now I have shared you one screenshot
Where you shared the screenshot?
in chat only.
WhatsApp chat or this one?
No, in this Zoom.
I don't see any screenshot. I can see only rules check screenshot. Other than that, I don't see any screenshot.
It checks now.
No, I can't see, man. Just upload it again. Upload it again. Otherwise, just send it to me in the WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I sent you on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Tabang is there in the call. Yeah, you are there,
Yes,
right?
I'm right here, Shamuk. So I'm
You have
saying
to
that.
first log into the server first. Until then, it will not respond. You have to use control plus delete. Right control plus delete. First log into the server, then only your keyboard and all will work. Otherwise, nothing will work. Yeah, it's done. It's done. I guess shared components are already installed. You can see, right? Install successful. You can directly close it, Anjan. So Tabang, okay, first log into the machine using control plus delete. Then you can see all the options. The cursor and all will work, and your keyboard also will work.
So Shamuk, I'm not sure if you're understanding me. I have used that. Now it's time to enter my password, but the keyboard is not working.
Keyboard is not working. Okay,
Right.
that's okay. Just wait for some time. Sometimes it might be like stuck kind of thing. Just wait for some time. Automatically, like, what is your RAM, laptop RAM and all? How much RAM it is?
12 gig.
2?
12. 1 to 12.
12 GB.
Yeah.
And how much you allocated to the VM?
3.
3 GB allocated. Okay, no problem. So sometimes in case if your laptop is busy with other processes, it will not respond. Just wait for some time. Automatically, just keep typing the password. Okay, it will allow. Don't worry. Or else, no problem. You can directly close it. You can again see here. If you can see, if you want to directly close the VM, okay, you will click on this close button. Okay, this close button. When you click on this close button, you will get three options. Power off option you have to choose. But currently I cannot power off. The installation is running in the server. Okay, you can just power off directly, and then you can try starting the VM again, and you can just try to enter the password. No issues at all. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Almost done, guys. Just 2 minutes. Only like the sessions that I cannot break, only those sessions generally will go, okay, little beyond our time. Otherwise, generally it will be ended, okay, by 9:30 IST, guys. Okay, so you don't worry, plus or minus 5 to 10 minutes, that's it. Right. Okay, guys. So we are done, guys. You can see here all the components has been successfully installed. You have to make sure, okay, okay, you can see this message install successfully, and make sure you have to check all the components that you have selected has been installed successfully. See all green checks only. If one check is failed, you have to troubleshoot it, and you have to again install the components. Especially this database engine is very, very important. Make sure this database engine is successful. Otherwise, if all components are succeeded and this database engine is failed, your installation is failed. That is called partially successful. Okay, so it should be fully successful, guys. So in case if it was failed, how to check, where to check, what and all files will use, everything will be discussed in the next class, guys. This is how you have to verify and validate whether installation is successful or not. This will create a summary file. In case if it is successful or failed, it will create a summary file. Summary file is a log file which will help you to troubleshoot the installation related errors. Okay, that's it for now. Tomorrow we'll connect and we'll discuss the other things. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, and sorry for the late. Okay, thank you all, guys. Bye. Good night. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No worries, Sanmakanna. Bye.
Yeah, bye.